Next tonight, the hospital who turned away an injured toddler 15 minutes before it was due to close because they'd already switched off the computers.
When little Rafferty Searson cut his face, his GP recommended taking him to the Herts and Essex Hospital at Bishop Stortford in case he'd caused serious damage to his tendons.
And he was taken there 15 minutes before closing, but was refused treatment and left with a 40-minute journey to the Princess Alexandra Hospital in Harlow. Emma Baker has more.
Rafferty Searson loves playing with mum, dad and little sister at his local park in Basildon. And now he's got the stitches to prove it. On a recent visit, he fell from one of the slides and cut his cheek open. But when his nanny rushed him to the nearby Herts and Essex Hospital in Bishop Stortford, she was told they were about to close and couldn't treat him because the computers had been shut down. When Rafferty's mum was told what had happened, she was horrified.
As soon as she opened the door, the woman on the front desk folded her arms, shook her head and said, "No, sorry, we're closed, you have to go to Harlow." And she said, "But you don't close until 5. And the lady said, "I'm sorry, the computer's closed at 4:30, and there's no one here to help you. You have to go to Harlow."
It meant the 3-year-old had to be driven to the Princess Alexandra Hospital, 15 miles away in Harlow, a 40-minute drive.
The lack of human kindness just astounds me, that nobody wanted to help him at all. It makes me very sad. Furious, absolutely. I said he could have gone into the local Tesco's and got more help there from a complete stranger.
Rafferty ended up having 6 stitches. Luckily, it hasn't put him off his favourite slide, despite his bad memories.
Bummed my head when I dipped down off the slide and I dipped up.
Oh, and what did you have on your hands?
My blood.
No one was available from Herts and Essex Hospital to talk to us today, but in a statement, the local primary care trust apologised for any distress caused, adding the minor injuries unit do try their utmost to see patients who arrive after registration closes. But on this occasion, because of the unusually large number of people waiting and the nature of Rafferty's injury, the receptionist advised that he should be taken to Harlow. Hannah has now made a formal complaint to the Herts and Essex Hospital. She says she's determined that no one else's child should have to go through the same ordeal. Emma Baker, Anglia News, Elsenham.
Still to come tonight.
Villagers who helped victims of a car crash in a village in Suffolk will be honoured at a special ceremony this evening.
A group of school children were injured in the village of Worlingham when they were hit by a car last year. The local vicar and the chairman of the parish council are among those who will receive a Star of Suffolk award for the way they responded to the incident. Martin Stew reports.
Everything's in place for a night of celebration. Now in its second year, the Stars of Suffolk Awards honour unsung people who, according to the brochure, are shining lights in their communities because of their inspiration, bravery or compassion. Amongst those being honoured, the whole community of Worlingham. When a car mounted the pavement and crashed into a group of school children in September, the whole village rallied round. Rector Susie Ellis was delivering a service for a funeral at the time. She was one of the first on the scene but says it was the whole community who deserved recognition.
Everybody pitched in, bystanders, mourners at the funeral, people at the church, the school of course, the rescue services who were so quick on the scene, so prompt. It was just a magnificent effort where everybody was deeply involved and concerned. They did wonderfully. Very proud of them all.
8 children were injured, but it could have been much worse if it wasn't for the help of firemen from Lowestoft. In December, they were invited back to Worlingham Middle School for a thank you Christmas lunch. Tonight, they're up for the Fire Crew of the Year, and Parish Council Chairman Michael Collier thinks it's richly deserved.
Well, I can't praise them enough. You know, they did a marvellous job. Police, ambulance, the car that was involved sort of stuck in, semi in the middle of the road up on the pavement. It's terrible. Virtually all the mourners who were at the funeral were involved in some aspects, helping people, the children and that.
13 awards will be handed out this evening, but all 200 who were nominated deserve recognition. Martin Stew, Anglia News, Ipswich.
Now, he's been in the news this week for upsetting a national treasure. But today, Defence Minister Kevan Jones was in Maldon in Essex to unveil a unique collection of weapons.
I wonder if she minds being called a national treasure. Anyway, some of the firearms date back to the 19th century, and this is the first time for many years they've been on public display. Victoria Webb reports.
He's the minister who's come under fire for criticising Joanna Lumley. And today, Kevan Jones found himself among more than 700 firearms at the Combined Military Services Museum in Maldon. Here to open this collection that dates from the 1800s through to current-day machinery, Mr Jones was still apologetic for any offence he may have caused.
We need to do everything we can to stop poor Gurkhas being exploited and that they make the right decision when they come here and are not either money taken off them or given bad advice.
So you don't actually regret what you said?
If it caused offence, yes, but in terms of highlighting the issue around the unscrupulous agents that are preying on Gurkha veterans, no, I don't.
Kevan Jones gave permission for this museum to house the Donington collection. The weapons were handed in to the MOD there to be scrapped, but staff began putting them to one side. Some of them came from house clearances and gun amnesties. They were souvenirs from regiments, experimental weapons and foreign firearms. The man who set up the Essex Museum first saw the collection packed away 6 years ago.
We noticed that some of them had different coloured tags on them, and he said to the chap there, you know, what does this mean? And he said, well, certain museums are having these items. We need to move the collection out, but no one will take the whole thing on. So Richard B. and Richard said, we'll have it. You cannot split this collection up.
With the help of Heritage Lottery funding, an extension was built at the museum, allowing them to display the development of revolvers, machine guns and the pocket pistols made especially for ladies. This Luger with a silencer was apparently produced to assassinate Hitler. Now, stories like that staff here are going to research to try to find out which are actually true. With weapons spanning 2 centuries and wars across the world, the staff here at the museum have a busy time ahead. Victoria Webb, Anglia News, Maldon.
A small village school in South Norfolk has been graded as outstanding by Ofsted just 5 years after being classed as poor by the local authority. Brockdish Church of England Primary School has only 20 pupils. Last week, Ofsted awarded it the highest grading. Staff say they're very proud that their hard work has paid off.
Now, it's nowhere near California and is a stranger to megastardom, but Basildon is hoping to inject a touch of Hollywood magic. The town council has erected a giant white name sign in the style of Los Angeles, of course. The lights which will illuminate the sign at night are yet to be fitted. The sign is part of a £400,000 project commissioned by Basildon District Council to boost the local economy.
Not quite as glamorous, but still very smart. And we stay on the Hollywood theme. For a few weeks ago on Anglia Tonight, you may remember that we told you the story of a filmmaker from Cambridge who remade a blockbuster movie lasting just 60 seconds.
Yes, he was the one who even managed to borrow a real F-15 fighter for his new version of that classic 80s film Top Gun.
And now it's an award-winning remake. I don't think he got an Oscar, but Mark Wong's movie has beaten off 5,000 rivals from across the globe to win the Empire Done in 60 Seconds award. Thanks to his co-producer Chris Slaughter, who serves in the US Army, they were able to film at RAF Lakenheath, which of course is in Suffolk.